You can win all the tournaments you want, but the majors are what you're remembered for. It's how you're measured as a champion in our sport. The majors are where it's at. What's up, guys? It's Marcus with Metaphos, and I'm joined here today with Eric Shen, aka Sizzle, aka Sack Phase. What's going on, buddy?
Hey guys, I love how you do the AKA every time. That's funny.
Yeah. But yeah, we're here today actually to go over 2024 Edison and specifically its champions and to give them their flowers, as well as take a look at, how these championship level decks have evolved over the course of the year. And before we get into it, is there anything you'd like to say, Eric?
Dude, I just want to say, dude, people need to know how much effort you put in this, because this is a lot of research, a lot of like double checking, crossing your T's, dotting your I's, and all that. So good stuff, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, and I hope for the competitive community, this is something that they can look back at and get some use out of. So I guess to start, we'll take a look at the winning decks and the distribution. Here we had one Gladiator Beast, 2 Dream Frogs, 1 Christius Horn, 3 Blackwing, 7 Vayu Turbo, 1 Dragon Turbo, and 4 Hero Frog. No surprise that the big 3 took up the most amount of wins. And for these events specifically, it only includes 100+ person majors and or invitationals. And I do not include European events in this list just because the amount of data I had to collect would make it asinine to try to get that information.
Right.
But yeah, I was actually quite surprised at how much Vayu Turbo dominated the year, because Hero Frog and Blackwing combined for what Vayu Turbo got in terms of wins. What are your thoughts here, Eric?
I do think Vayu is, in my opinion, it's the best deck, but like by maybe the slightest margin ever. But what I was gonna say is, I think people look at this and be like, "Wow, Vayu's just best deck," and I do think that the top players' deck choices do kind of reflect this. Like you'll see that, like for example, Gary has 2 wins, and I have 1. So we take up like almost half of this, I guess. So like basically what I'm saying is like, if me and Gary like didn't play those tournaments, or it wasn't our day, this could easily sway in anyone's favor. So I don't like, while you can look at this, be like, Vayu's the best deck, and I totally think that's reasonable to say. I don't think it's like by the margin that this is showing, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, no, that's completely fair. I agree, and I definitely think that with this chart, it also shows, because like in current format, you would never see 7 different decks having wins, you know what I mean? So I think it still shows diversity. Even
I love that.
And Christius Horn, Dragon Turbo, Glad Beast, they're all super real decks you have to prepare for at an event. It's not like those are decks you can ignore, so...
Yeah, I didn't think about it like that from a modern player's perspective. Yeah, you're not going to see 7. Yeah, that's so cool to think about too. And Dream Frog and, to a lesser extent, Gladiator Beast and Christius Horn, those decks weren't really on the radar last year, I don't believe.
Oh, no, for sure.
Yeah, and Dream Frog is definitely a new deck. Like, that was definitely invented this year, so that's really cool too.
Yeah, Dream Frog didn't break out into the scene until July, so it really got 2 wins in a half a year.
Whoa!
Yeah, crazy. But let's take a look at our winners here. First, we'll start with the Ultimate Time Wizard events. And our first winner of 2024 was Steve Silverman, winner of Las Vegas 3v3. It was our first multi-format 3v3 event. Super fucking cool. Wish I could have been there. And he won with Hero Frogs. This was back in February, and there was roughly 300 players. I think it was just under 100 teams, but the blog listed roughly 300 players, so that's what we're going with, meaning roughly 100 Edison players. And with his list here, I know the main deck is correct. It's exactly Frazier's main deck without the Dandelion. I could not get confirmation on the side deck, but what I was told by Frazier himself was it's my exact deck without Dandelion. So that's what we're looking at here. But yeah, Steve's a monster in 3v3s, man. He's won 2 YCS 3v3s, an Ultimate Time Wizard 3v3. He has other wins, not just in Yu-Gi-Oh, but in other card games too, I believe, like Magic or something. He's an absolute beast and always a threat to take down any tournament he enters.
Yeah, I wonder how he's like so consistent in 3v3s. Like what unique skill does he have that other players don't to make him so good and consistent in 3v3s? But yeah, that's he's definitely a monster at card games in general.
Yeah, I think he's able to kind of do both roles where if he needs to step up and help his teammates, he can, but also when he needs the help and knowing when to let someone else drive. Because I know in current, he did not play that much, and he even said like he thanked Dominic Couch a lot for a lot of how he was able to, let him take the lead sometimes. So he's just a great teammate. He's got it figured out. So Steve, if you ever want a team for a 3v3, please let me know. But congrats, man. You definitely deserve it. And then next one, arguably one of my favorites here. We got Ultimate Time Wizard Raleigh with you, Eric Shen, Sack Phase on Vayu Turbo, the deck that you are known for, one of the best Vayu Turbo players, if not the best Vayu Turbo player in North America. You won back in April. It was 187 players, and really your list looks pretty cookie cutter minus the main deck Spirit Reaper, but at the time this was a lot more common, right?
Yeah, Spirit Reaper, I still really love that card, but now that Deck Dev and Black Wings are more popular, I had to take it out. But yeah, I think it's pretty cookie cutter. Yeah, everything at the time was pretty cookie cutter, and this was like I was playing this list for like 4 months straight, like this exact 70. I was like, after I won Orlando, I tried so many different value lists, and I finally settled on this. And then I won an Emporium monthly, I won the first TGS monthly, and then I won this with like the same 70, like back to back to back.
Yeah, dude, you were an absolute menace, and now like I'm just thankful at the monthlies you don't even play, you just judge them and stream them. But yeah, I mean, this was hype. I remember when it happened, our whole group could not have been like more proud of you, dude. So congratulations again. Once a champion, always a champion. And you've definitely helped like shape this deck and how it's supposed to be played and whatnot. And even in terms of play style, because I feel like before people were not as patient with this deck as you were, and now it's becoming a lot more prevalent that people play that way.
Yeah, I kind of like play this. I mean, I just play Yu-Gi-Oh! I feel like Go Format taught me everything I know about Yu-Gi-Oh! So I just play like, patient +1. But it's so weird because before Orlando and this, like I was literally an absolute nobody, and then I feel like out of nowhere I just started influencing Vayu Turbo decisions, I guess. It's just so weird. That's what I'm saying. Like it doesn't just because Vayu Turbo has 7 wins, like I was literally a nobody, came out of nowhere. Like it just happened to be like that. I won because it was my day. Like. And then I ended up influencing decisions. It's absolutely unreal.
Yep.
Yeah, deck is just broken. Deck carried me.
Shut up, dude. It did not. Champions are forever. But without further ado, let's get into the next one here.
Yep.
We got Ultimate Time Wizard Indianapolis champion Fraser Smith, also the host of the I Am Nerd YouTube channel and podcast. He has definitely shaped Hero Frogs, and he won back in June. It was roughly 200 players. I think it might have been 198, but I heard 198 and I heard 200, so we went ahead and rounded up there. And then he is the one who kind of like patented this type of Hero Frog list. Some of the neat things at the time was the 2-swap, the Dandy, and the Future Fusion, which was really all him. I don't think other people were really playing that combo prior to this.
Yep.
And yeah, I remember being at this event, and when we found out he made top 8, I mean, I said it, but I think a few other people also told him like, "Oh, dude, you've won this event." Like, there was just something in the air, and he took it down. I could not be happier for him.
Yeah, the timeline was unreal because, like, I know you weren't there at Raleigh, but like, our group had just met him at Raleigh. We were telling him like, I was telling him like he needs a win, and like he shouldn't be playing Dragon Turbo, and then I had to play him round 1 at this tournament, and he cooked me, and then he just wins the whole thing. Like that was so unreal. Yeah, we were really happy for him.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You kind of like passed the baton.
Yeah, like literally, it's crazy. But dude, it's also crazy now because I feel like his list is so quote unquote, like when I look at it, it's so quote unquote standard. But really, like he made it so good that it became standard. Like the 5 heroes was definitely not standard. Future Fusion Dandy. Well, I don't think that's like quote unquote standard, but he definitely shows like it's good. The 3 right break, the 1 econ, 1 soul, like everything is just like he made kind of made like these ratios, I guess.
Yeah, no, it was definitely more like how Ivan and I used to play it with the triple upstarts. There was, not playing Future Fusion, not playing Dandy, not playing the main deck Battle Fader. Threatening Roar was in the main. Like, it was definitely just a lot of different decisions, and it ended up becoming like the standard. I think the only thing people kind of sometimes stray away from is the Dandy Future Fusion stuff, but the other 39 cards are almost always included.
Were you playing 3 swap? Can't remember.
No, I was also on 2 at the time, but yeah, I mean, that was not common, so I still give Frazier a lot of credit for doing well with that, because a lot of people talk down playing 2 swap.
Yeah, 3 swap. I remember 3 swap. I remember. I think this. I don't think Frazier did this part, but 3 dupe was more common at the time, but people eventually went down to 2.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah, he's definitely one of the pioneers of optimizing this deck for sure. So big congrats to him. If I didn't say it already, make sure you guys subscribe to I Am Nerd. He is definitely one of the faces of the format right now, and puts out a lot of great competitive content. Alrighty, and then we got our national champion at Ultimate Time Wizard in Austin, Bronte, playing Dream Frogs, and this is where Dream Frogs kind of broke onto the scene here. It was the biggest Ultimate Time Wizard event biggest Edison event since Edison itself, with 466 players back in July, and he took this deck in like a different direction than how James was playing it. And man, this deck is so cool. I remember when it was such a good meta call, because no one knew how to really play against this version, where you're constantly resetting up dupe lock. You play double salvage, where no one's playing around salvage. Play the double avarice, has 4 discard traps, and then the power of like seeing Fishborg. Once you see it, the deck can just like basically do anything that it wants. This was really, really cool and really, really innovative at the time, and yeah, huge congrats to him. Always a little bit sad that he took out Hector in the finals, but
yeah,
dude definitely deserves it. I know he's a quality player from everything I hear from other players in the community.
Yeah, and I also remember because this is the deck's first like major breakout. I know like James had a top with it. I think
it was like a case tournament or something that he topped, I think.
Okay, yeah, it was definitely like people knew about it if you were like on YouTube a lot or like in the Discords, but this is definitely his first like premiere performance. But I don't think James played salvage.
I don't think so either.
I think he was on triple avarice. Could be wrong, but I'm like 99% sure he was on salvage, because I would talk to Bronte and be like, dude, salvage is broken as hell, and he's like, yeah, I don't know why James isn't playing that card. Dude, salvage is like an extender, a combo starter if you like go like discard special swap. And it's an anti-deck dev card. I'm like, this card does everything you want in this deck. Like, how are you not playing this card?
Yeah, no, it definitely serves a lot of quality purposes. I agree. And yeah, no, it was really cool. It broke on the scene. And then we literally see the following month, it win another event. Denny Yu won Ultimate Time Wizard Sacramento in August with Dream Frogs, but a completely different take on the deck. As you guys will see, I left the players spot with a lot of question marks, because I could not get an exact number on the amount of players that attended Sacramento. I was told it was around 150 players, but that was just kind of word of mouth, no actual proof there. And yeah, we can see with Denny's list here, he opts to not play salvage, plays triple avarice, but also plays triple upstart to just guarantee. I think his goal is just play every game and do the thing the deck wants to do every game, in terms of like set up dupe lock and then loop dupe lock whenever it gets cleared. And yeah, definitely a different take, but Denny is a really, really good technical player. I remember him on the scene a lot back when I actually played current. He was one of the better players. I think he won a YCS back in like 2014 or something. I think it was Heretic Rulers, if I remember correctly, but he is an absolute beast of a player, dude. I've sat next to him in a few events. I don't even know if he'd remember me, but this dude's a beast, and it's sweet that he came back for an event, won it, and I don't know if he still plays Edison or not, but this dude's just so good at Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah, I remember watching his deck profile, and he said like he only played Edison for like a month or 2.
Dude, that's nuts.
And I'm like, wow, that is really nuts. And I feel like when I see triple upstart in a deck list, I feel like it's like a quote unquote modern player. But he does. Yeah, kind of. But his sideboard doesn't look like a modern player side. His sideboard actually looks like really like thought out.
Yeah, no, the sideboard has some really interesting options. We have the DD Assailant, which was popularized by Dimitri at Indianapolis, but that was not like, even though it was played there, it was not super common in side decks, I feel like. We also saw 2 Kaikus in the side. We saw the Nobleman of Extermination and Soul Release, all like choices that weren't exactly standard in Frog variants.
Yeah, and it's a lot of 1-0s. I feel like if I see a modern player's side deck there, there's a lot more 2 and 3-0s.
Oh,
but,
for sure. That's how I was at the beginning, because like the mindset is you want to see your best cards more often, but the format's so diverse that it's not that simple, and having utility of different cards doing different things really
yes, important. The surprise factor is actually so crazy. Yeah.
Yep. So congrats, Denny, man. That's freaking awesome. Let's get to the next one here. We have Ultimate Time Wizard Niagara Falls. This one's the bane of my existence. I was so close. But congrats to Daniel Rose for not only taking it down, but taking it down with Christiasworn, which I think to this point had never won an IRL major. And he won this in October with 160 players according to the blog, and I got to speak with this guy a little bit. He was really nice when I spoke with him, really chill guy. But his list is kind of wild for Christiasworn, at least. We don't see any hamsters. We see a 2-2 split of Lila Raiko with the 3 wolves in the main. We see My Body in the main, Pot of Avarice in the main, Reincar in the main, just like a lot of different choices. We see a Jinzo in the side, Starlight Road in the side. Like, this is not standard for this deck. And he even said in his video that like he would make a lot of changes. But it's really cool to take a 44 card deck that no one's won with and to, you know, win an event with it.
Yeah, I would say this deck list, I bet he himself could not say this is a conventional list. Dude, there's a Chimera Tech in the side. I feel like I haven't seen that in forever.
Especially in a deck that doesn't access the extra deck all that much.
Yeah, just put in your extra deck and get another side deck slot. I feel like is way, way better. Is he playing Gale anywhere? There's an Armor Master.
No, he said he would cut the Armor Master in the future. So okay. Like that's an easy slot, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, but like, I mean, this just shows like how powerful the deck is in my opinion. Like, again, back to that pie chart point about like the big 3 being so dominant. This deck, I feel like no one can say this deck is bad. Like, Christiasworn is a great deck, but the big 3 is just so overrepresented. If you could adjust the player percentages towards like how powerful the decks actually are, like Christiasworn is underrepresented in my opinion.
Oh, I agree. I also think with this deck though, because you have to be able to like manipulate your grave and plot turns ahead for cards like Christia and JD, that they're really hard to pilot, especially against aggressive strategies. So yeah, you won't see like a bad player get lucky 8 rounds in a row to make a top cut and then also win with this deck. You know what I'm saying?
I did. I got lucky.
Shut up, dude. You're so good.
Okay. Whoa, bro,
You're a troll, bro. You're a troll.
Oh, man, bro. Oh, man.
All right. Well, congrats, Dan Rose, man. And if you guys want to see his profile, I got that one off of Beast Mode's channel. So go check that out. Next, we got Bruce Harris, winner of Ultimate Time Wizard Anaheim here. That just happened in December. First American Ultimate Time Wizard win with Black Wings. And it was the biggest non-nationals Ultimate Time Wizard with 309 players. And yeah, Bruce won with like a older style of Black Wings. Like we can see the 2 Book of Moon in the main, only 2 Blizzard, opting to cut an Icarus but still play the deck dev. Some interesting choices here for sure. No draw traps, no gores. I mean, I like it. Clearly it performed well, but I think the most spicy thing about his deck is the side deck. Because we can see double smashing, double nobleman, double breaker, and double vanisher in the side. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad he repped Black Wings because, you know, I've been on this deck as of late, and I'm glad he won. But he did eliminate both Johnny and Chai from the tournament at different points. What do you think, man?
I loved seeing this list because it's so nostalgic. Like, I feel like I went back in time seeing like this list: Banisher, Breaker, like. Banisher, that's not very common at all, and he ended up working for him because he played X-Saber and Zombies in top 4 in finals. The double book, like everyone loves book, but no one like can justify it, and he just said, "F it, I'm gonna play 2." And the craziest part was he's like, when I did his deck profile on my channel, I was asking him like when the last time he played Edison was. He's like, I haven't played in like 10 years or something. And he couldn't find Android. So there's no Android in the extra deck.
Yeah, I was wondering that when I looked over the extra deck. It was weird that there wasn't an Android, but I was like, oh, I guess he's opting to play 2 Armor Master and Mistworm instead of like,
nope.
Normally that's like one of those, like going to 1 Armor Master or cutting Mistworm is the play. But
yeah, he said he couldn't find Android, and it said it costed him around. He went X2, was the only X2 to get in top 8. And it just went out.
Dude, that
crazy.
happens a lot. I think that happened to Denny and someone else. Like, I think 3 of our winners were X2s that slid in.
It happened to Kalenda when he won.
Yep. It's really cool. But congrats to you, Bruce. I'm glad you did it with Black Wings, and I hope to see you at future events now that you're a champion. All right, and then next we got here RBT Season 3. That's the really big Edison tournament series. Hosted by E3 Yu-Gi-Oh! He is definitely one that a lot of us got to thank for not only bringing this tournament series, but being a big reason why Edison is so large today. So go check out his channel, but let's get right into it. Most of these will be online events. First one is RBT 1 of Season 3, and it's won by OG, also known as Gary Yu on Vayu Turbo. One of the few people who can contest you for best Vayu Turbo player.
He is definitely this year. He's way better.
Oh yeah,
than me,
I mean
sure.
it's hard to not say he's the best this year specifically, but
yeah, like overall even, yeah.
Yep, and he won with 208 players. I thought at first when I first glanced at this, I was like, list is pretty standard. Then I realized no main deck charge and only 2 Sirocco. And I know that was kind of a fad that was going on this time, the 2 Sirocco thing. I can't say I agree with it, but those are only 2 things I noticed. What are your thoughts since you're the Vayu Turbo guy?
Yeah, I know James like started the 2 Sirocco, 3 Caius fad, and I tried it. I think everyone tried it. Everyone's like, oh my god, I gotta play 3 Caius. And yeah, it was not it. Like, Caius would break way too much, especially going second. And I think everyone's pretty much gone back to 3 Sirocco, 2 Caius, because people know how broken Sirocco is.
For sure. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, and then I think Vayu Turbo, one of the nice things about it is, like, if it's your day and you're a really good player, the deck just feels absurd.
Yeah, that's why I think it's so good, because, like, you can, no matter how good you are, you can just not draw well, your opponent can draw really, really good. But Vayu Turbo always gives you that chance with the milling and the bombs to just sack your weight off anything.
Right, especially against a lesser player. No, I agree. So huge congrats to Gary. He had a monster season, and we'll see more of him. You'll see.
Wait, hold on. I didn't know he played Spear Reaper and he played RDA. What is that?
He played Spirit Reaper too. I didn't even notice that. Interesting.
That?
Yeah, no, that is spicy. I didn't even notice that either. Okay, so I guess we weren't done with Spirit Reaper at this point. But oh yeah, you won a month after this with Spirit Reaper though, so it was probably just common at the time.
It was.
It helps justify that 3rd Caius too a little bit more. So
yep.
All right, and then next we have Cold Madness. I was talking to him a little bit over Discord, and he was unable to provide an actual picture of himself. So this is his Discord profile.
That's him.
Picture.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah,
that's him.
He's a menace.
Yeah.
But he won RBT 2 of Season 3 later in March, 202 players with Vayu Turbo as well. This is like more conventional to what you would see today, other than he's playing a 41st card with the Icarus in the main deck, which I actually kind of like the Icarus. I don't know if I agree necessarily with 41 cards, but what are your thoughts on his list?
No, I agree with everything you said. I personally just don't like inconsistent cards. And Icarus is definitely like insane when it's live and obviously utter garbage when it's not.
Right.
But yeah.
No, that's fair. And with the way the deck plays, you probably just want to have as many live cards as possible, because that's one of the beauties of Vayu Turbo is the card activity is so great.
Yep.
But
agreed.
Yep. Congrats to Cold Madness on winning RBT 2. Also super nice guy. I got a chance to talk to him a little bit in Discord. So next we got Chill Phil winning RBT 3. Dude, this is one of the guys, like, when I play someone online, he's one of the people like I actually fear, because he is an insane technical player. He won this event with Black Wings in late April, 173 players. And this is kind of more your traditional Blackwing list, and at least at the time, the patented Ludo 3 Legacy normal trap lineup. I think the only thing that was a little bit different is some people opted not to play TT, but everything else is super, super standard. I really like the list, but honestly, more so than anything, if you watch back some of these games, he's just a crazy player, dude.
You watch his replays?
I have, yes. I even played against him once in War League, and he was like one of my, I think I had like 2 losses or whatever, and he was one of them.
Was that when you were like on a huge streak with Hero Frog?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, he's really, really good. But
he won something else later, didn't he?
Oh yeah, he does. He does. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, he's a beast, and he's the only person to do it 2 different decks.
No way, really? Wow,
yep,
crazy.
So yeah, actually, I'll just move forward. We'll talk about him a little bit more here in a bit.
Yeah.
Next, we got Raikoko 7. All actual name's Ryan Prescott, winner of RBT 4, playing a really cool list. It's Dragon Turbo. I try to play this deck all the time because I think it's insane, but it's so hard to know when to pull the trigger with this deck, and it's got to be your day for sure when you play it too. He won this in June of 2024. There's not an exact date that I could find, so I'm thinking it might have been a multi-day tournament, like over the course of a few weeks. But it was 179 players, and I feel like this guy wins something every season. Like, he has so many tops and wins, right? So
yeah, I feel like he barely plays too. I don't know if he plays a lot, but I feel like he doesn't play like every online tournament like some people do, and he just comes out and wins it.
Yeah, no, this guy's a beast, and it's no surprise he did it with because I think Dragon Turbo is a really high skill intensive deck. Actually, obviously you have your crazy hands that like anyone can play and win with, but like it's the moderate to mid hands that or the moderate to mediocre hands that you have to be able to guide through, know when you have to try to deep draw as much as you can, and how you can stall, how you can bluff, all that good stuff. So
yeah, and I also want to say I am like, I feel like the three main people for this deck, Ghost Rider, Hydro Pump, and I guess Raikoko. I know the list now has evolved. Like, I know they made Mirror Force Torrential now, and I know Vortex Trooper was in and out for so long, but I'm pretty sure they're on 2 Vortex Trooper. I'm not completely sure, but I just know that new build that Hydro Pump plays looks a bit different from this, and it's just like crazy good.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've noticed there has been some innovations. I'm curious as to what they cut. I'll probably have to go back and look at some of those newer lists. But let's go on to the next. We got our first IRL RBT, and this one was format warping right before Nationals. We had Hector Tellez, aka HT19, our boy from Chicago, win with Black Wings. We sent 1 troop, and he took down the whole tournament. This was June 15th of 24, 158 players, and just way different from what people were doing with Black Wings at the time. He had 2 Blizzard, 6 draw traps, Trunade over MST. Yeah, I mean, this shook up the whole format right before Nationals. I remember everyone was like trying to figure out how, you know, you can play into back row when your opponent's playing 6 draw traps, because it's really awkward. And then on top of that, it just completely makes it really hard to want to use cards like Icarus Attack or Gemini Spark and stuff, because, you know, when are you actually getting value out of those cards if, you know, your opponent activates a card and you chain and target a back row. And then on top of that, we see a lot of interesting side deck choices like the Iron Walls, Skill Drain, opting to push Judgment and TT to the side, Dark Bribe. Yeah, I feel like this is one of the more format warping events, and it was done by our buddy Hector. What do you think?
Yeah, he's super cooked with this one. Shout out to Hector for one, going to the tournament, like you said, by himself. I don't think I could go to a tournament by myself and do well. I think my mental would be so drained, my fun would be so drained without friends. So that's insane. And yeah, the 6 draw traps, it's crazy because I don't know how the format would be, because Hector won with 6 draw traps, right? But then the finalist, David, with Frog Hero, played 4 draw traps. 5 draw traps?
I think he played 5.
He played I think he played 5, yeah. So first and second both played an obscene amount of draw traps, which has never been seen before. So I feel like that was crazy. And at the time, no one's seen it. So they both obviously did really well because complete surprise factor. And now it's like more expected. So it's like it's played around a bit more. But no, Hector definitely put a bunch of thought. He stuck to his guns. I know he's like I know the year before he was playing 6 draw traps and 3 reckless greed and morphing jar at one point.
And upstarts. And
was he upstart too? Oh my god, that guy just loves drawing cards.
He had 12 draw card build before.
Yeah, but I mean, he tested it a lot, went through a lot of revisions to finally land on this. Like, he played True Nade because he was saying, like, since he's setting a lot of back row with draw traps, his opponent will set a lot of back row too, so MST is just worse. Like, yeah, that's just a lot of thought went into this. So, yeah, crazy stuff, crazy run.
Especially at this time, I felt like it made the matchup in the mirror match really good, because when your opponent would Icarus, they would, like, almost never get value. So, yeah, that's really stellar. Also, go check out his channel, HT19. He's putting out content like twice a week at this point, and really want to see him get to 1,000 subs. So.
Oh, did you know HT19 created Edison format?
Oh yeah, I believe our buddy Kevin leads the disciples of HT19, and they all worship him for everything he's created, including decks and the format itself.
Yep, we wouldn't be playing Edison without him, according to Kevin Wu.
All right, but next we got our first 2-time winner, Gary Yu, OG, Vayu Turbo, and 268 players. This was in August. We were both at this event, RBT Maryland, and it was the biggest RBT to date. And I believe he started off pretty badly and then just won like 13 or 14 straight or something crazy to win the event. And I think this list is a lot more what you'd expect to see now, like opting, because a lot of people either do the 2 hamster or the 1 hamster, 1 charge. The only cool thing I like that he did is he sided the charge. You know, I'd personally prefer to main charge still, but I like that he just didn't completely get rid of it like he did in his previous win. And then outside of that, it all looks pretty standard to me. I do notice the 1 deck dev in the main, which at the time was just becoming more popular. What are your thoughts about the evolution of our 2-time RBT champion, Gary, and his Vayu deck?
Yeah, no, he actually main deck dev in his first RBT win too, but it definitely wasn't popular. I mean, it still wasn't popular at this point either, I don't think.
No.
And he went through a lot of revisions. I remember he was talking to me about the list beforehand, and I was wondering why he didn't. He showed me a list where he didn't have deck dev. I'm like, dude, you're the deck dev guy. You have to play deck dev. Yeah, and he sides the charge. He lost round 1 to Hero Beat, which is so funny because like, him and Frazier both know like he has like this Hero Beat like kryptonite, even though he like doesn't play bad into Hero Beat, he just can't beat Hero Beat. So he lost round 1 to Hero Beat, which is so funny, and then he just wins the whole thing.
That's
like, guy's a monster. Yeah, agreed.
Isn't Hero Beat like notoriously pretty good for Vayu?
It is. It's not like free. Like, I would not say any matchup is free for Vayu. Like, literally, like, no matchup is free, but it is, like, favorable for Vayu.
Gotcha. Well, huge congrats, Gary. Definitely contention for Player of the Year. You definitely deserve this one, man. Congrats.
Yeah, he killed it. 3 ulti Kaiuses.
Yeah. So jealous. Next, we got, this is a really cool one. RBT New York, Douglas Tepper won with Gladiator Beast. This was in September, and it was 223 players. And I feel like this really shaped the way Glads are played, because before everyone played the Cat, the multiple Test Tigers. They weren't main decking 3 Compulse, and yeah, this is just completely different take. The Iados may not be the standard today. Like, it definitely is played way more because he innovated that. But just the way this deck plays, completely different and completely shaped, I feel like Gladiator Beast in a completely new light. Even the way what I've taken away from it when I play Glads is like I just want to see my Glad Beast and a bunch of utility cards. Like I want every single Glad Beast monster to effectively do the same thing for me. What are your thoughts? I like this list a lot.
I like the main a lot. The sideboard, I don't play Gladiator Beast, so the sideboard looks like absolute whack to me. I mean, I guess it makes sense because like,
yeah, my side's.
I don't know what you're signing. I don't know what you're signing anti-spell for, but like everything else, I guess makes sense. Like I don't feel like you see anti-spell in Sirocco very often in Gladiator Beast, but everything else kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I think the anti-spell is specifically for like combo heavy decks, so like Welladad or Dragons, like where you make them set everything and then you Gazaris pop them. But yeah, I don't know if it's really.
I feel like you already have a good matchup into those decks, though. No, I don't know. I don't play Gladiator Beast, but I did remember this was the first tournament where I feel like I started seeing Trapstun a lot.
Yes.
And he's playing 3 Trapstun.
Yep. Yep. I agree. That was definitely I think Compulse was big for this deck too, because I did not really see people playing Compulse and Glads, and it's actually just crazy because you just get to ignore your opponent's set monsters. It clears big monsters, like big synchro monsters, which are this deck's kryptonite too. So yeah, I think that was really good.
It saves your guys when you don't have a lot of GBs too, if you need to.
And it allows you to be more reckless with your Bestiari, which is like one of your better Glad Beasts, but you're never allowed to summon it into like unknown backer. So yeah, no, definitely a really cool list. I agree, side could probably do some changes, but really cool that he was able to win a major with Glad Beasts, because as far as I know, I can't remember any IRL majors at least that have been won by this deck.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But yeah, congrats to you, Douglas. Let's get to the next one here. We got our second two-time champion, Chill Phil, this time with Hero Frogs, once again winning an event with 173 players, the same amount he won his first one with. And this was in November, RBT 5. And this is like what I imagine as the cookie cutter list if you're not playing like the Future Fusion Dandy. So it's literally like Fraser's list without those cards, and I don't even know what he adds as the 40th card. Is it
he added the
second Ryza?
Third swap and second Ryza,
yeah. So it's really good. Even the side deck looks really clean. It looks almost exactly how I have been playing the deck in recent months. So
yeah, everything about it looks like, this looks very, very like streamlined. Really clean.
And a testament to how good of a player he is to not only win 2 majors this year, but to do it with 2 different decks. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and I think I don't know if like this is true or not, but I feel like I have a sentiment at least that Hero Frog is probably like one of the hardest decks to play in the format, and the fact that he's not one-tricking Hero Frog and can still play at a very, very high level is just crazy.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying, dude. His technical play is insane. He's really good.
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
Yeah, it's like with both lists, he didn't invent the wheel. It wasn't like he made any crazy deck choices. It was just all technical play and playing just a solid list that got him there. But all right, and
that's crazy.
Then we got the winner of RBT Rulers for Season 3. This was an invitational event with 49 players, won by Sunny YGO on Hero Frogs. I know, and this was in late November. I know he is very big about wanting to let people know that he was one of the innovators of this deck as well back in its inception. And now that he's won a major with it, I mean, like, you kind of have to give credit where credit's due. He is one of the frog guys now, right? This list is really cool too. Like, we see the double threatening and no discard traps in the main. What are your thoughts?
I love discard traps in this deck. Like, I feel like it's super, it's like almost staple. So I don't know how he did it. He played double threatening roar and double fader instead. But I mean, it definitely worked for him. And I know he, like you said, he wants it to be known like he was one of the pioneers of this deck. And he says like this deck like literally plays like all his favorite cards or something. So it's really cool. You get to play like all your favorite cards and like win a major with it. That's so sick.
Yeah, I see double fader, double junk synchron, double threatening, no TT, no discard traps in the main. Very interesting choices for sure.
Oh yeah, no TT is crazy in all 70. Yeah.
And like the second junk, I feel like this is like definitely more susceptible to deck devs, which were getting popular. But I also feel like this is a list that's going to get to play basically every single game. And it looks pretty good to me, to be honest. Outside of I prefer the discard traps as well, but I definitely wouldn't rule this out without testing it. Some interesting choices in the side. The double nobleman, I know that's been picking up in frog decks, and then the one burial as some counterplay to Soul Release, which was gaining a lot of popularity at this time. So yeah, congrats to you, Sonny, for taking down Rulers, being the ultimate champion of the RBT series this year. Really glad he won. He makes great YouTube content as well when he does put stuff out, so make sure to check out his channel. And then we will move on to Deck Devastators. There was only 2 of them this year, but they were pretty big events, and I wanted to give credit where credit was due. So we will start off with champion Samu Pesteno. If I'm butchering that, I'm sorry.
Where did you get this picture, bro?
From him, from the man himself. Honestly, I screwed up because he sent it, and there's a cat in the photo by his feet, and I should have left it in there. But yeah, he won with Vayu Turbo. This was back in February, 143 players. And, you know, I'd be damned to not put him in this video because didn't he win Worlds the year previously?
Like, he did. Yeah,
this guy's really, really good. And I played him in Tengu format in Tengu War League, and we had a pretty epic set. He's a really good player. I could just tell from that. And I've also seen some of his replays too.
I played him in War League, and he mind gamed the fuck out of me. This one, like, with this one play, he's like way too good.
Yeah, he's cracked. And then like at this time, because this was February, so this is early in the year, he's playing a really good value list. Like, he was main decking Sork. He wasn't playing Spirit Reaper. He does the one hamster, one charge. Like, this is how I imagine I'm playing this deck, to be honest.
Yeah, this actually looks like streamlined AF like 6 months later.
Right. And like, no, it wasn't like people just started copying him after this either. So
yeah,
I think the only difference if I were to play this today is like maybe oppression to the side and a deck dev in the main is how I'd play it. But yeah, it looks really, really good.
Yeah, and probably Cyber Dragons find their way in because Glad Beast and random stuff is getting popular again. But yeah, other than that, yeah, very, very ahead of its time.
Right. And Mind Crush isn't really played as much these days, right? Because it's played in like everything pre-June, I've noticed.
Yeah, I think the reason I played it was because like I wanted a good. Well, Hero B was popular for one, so I thought it was like decent to Hero B, and Gold Sark decks were kind of popular.
Okay.
So you can put in Gold Sark, but it was also just a really good card against Lightsworn, and Vayu just has like a bad matchup into Lightsworn. Like, you can't really do anything early against
Dragon Turbo too.
Oh yes, Dragon Turbo was really big, and that's like I still think that's the best card against Dragon Turbo.
Oh yeah, it's crazy versus Dragon Turbo for sure. But yeah, congrats to you, Samu. You are an absolute beast, and thank you for letting the people see this stud of a man in his suit. All right, next we got Dex Devastator 7 with Nicholas 979809. I messaged him and never got a response back, but his profile picture is of a Dark Arm Dragon, so we went ahead and went with that. He won the Deck Devastators in August with 169 players, another Value Turbo win. God, I feel like we just keep seeing these. In this one, it's a little bit spicy because he opts to play 3D Prison. He doesn't main charge and mains the second hamster. But outside of that, it looks pretty normal. What are your thoughts? You got the Cyber Dragons in there too, I noticed. So
yeah, I freaking love Triple D Prison, and you just can't fit it anymore with all the like innovations that this deck has. There's no Chaos Sork. But no, D Prison I feel like is really, really good in this deck. People like underestimate how good it is in this deck, in my opinion, because like this deck struggles with bigger monsters, and it really struggles with Stardust Dragon. So yeah, D Prince is really good.
That's true. That's true. Yep. Well, congrats to you, Nicholas. Hopefully, we get a chance to chat, and you know, I could always revise this and have your picture added. Let's see next here. Oh, we got Edison Worlds, and this one's really cool because our winner was Televisual, aka Sushant. He won with Vayu Turbo, another Philly guy. Man, Philly dominated this year, bro. They had what, 4 or 5
wins? Yeah, they're really good. Yep.
Steve, Frazier, 2 from OG, and Sushant, right? That's 5. Oh my god, they're so good. But this was an invitational, so only 69 players. You had to qualify for Worlds to play in this online event. And this was in just a couple weeks ago in December. And he won with Vayu Turbo. And this is kind of looking a lot more like your list, Eric. What say you?
Yeah, it's literally one card off from my Niagara list. I just played 1 extra hamster and made it 41.
Oh wow, and what about the side?
The side's a bit different. I've also added Lightning Vortex in my deck since Niagara. That card is insane. I think that will be a more common card going forward. People don't play around it, and I don't know where the Soul Release became everywhere. Like, we were talking about it, we were talking about it for Soul Release for so long now. Don't even talk about that. But yeah, Soul Release in there now too.
What do you think
I
about
wonder how he. I hate that card. I get it. I get why people play it, obviously, and I might go back to the 1/1 again, but like, you just have to respect Amaryllis.
That's fair.
And Dyna's just so much better.
That's fair. And what maybe now that you play the Lightning in the deck, it gives you an extra card versus the Amma decks too.
There's just so many cards you can side out versus Amma, so you can actually fit everything. What I want to know is how he fits in, what he cuts for. I should probably ask him, because he plays 3 Dust and Starlight. and I'm just like, I don't know. Unless you're cutting in like both deck devs against Blackwing, I don't really know how you can fit in everything. But yeah.
Yeah, I think against...
Wait, is this the guy? This Televisual might be the dude at Niagara went up to me. I think it was Ernie and Televisual went up to me. I forgot what matchup this was. But they're like, what do you think about standing at one value? And I immediately looked at him like, you guys are fucking morons. I think it was...
I think I met Televisual at Maryland, and I think he introduced himself to me. He was super nice. I'm really glad he won, just because I listened to the podcast with him and Frazier. I'm like, damn, I don't know why. This guy's so likable. I'm glad he won.
He is. He's so real. Yeah, he's very nice too, humble. Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And he's, I mean, from everything I hear, he's a really good player, and clearly he showed it by winning, one of Edison's, most premier tournaments you could win. So.
And I think at this event, because he was first known for a Diva Hero with Gravekeeper Spy. That's how I first heard about him. And then I think at this event, a Diva Hero with Gravekeeper Spy topped. I forget who, but I'm pretty sure someone topped. I'm like 99% sure someone topped with Gravekeeper Spy and Diva Hero.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think I remember seeing that as well. But congrats to Sashant. Man, this is all of our champions for the year. This does not include format library tournaments, which other than Worlds. And it does not include European events, so I apologize to all of our winners from those. I kind of had to just make it more North American focused, as well as, not having me go insane trying to get all this information. And Eric, huge congrats to you. I'm still so glad that you won and rep Chicago the way you did. And thank you for coming on to do this video with me. Couldn't think of someone better to do this with. Any statements before we close this one out?
Dude, I'm just excited for next year, man. I feel like Edison, when Edison started going off in 2023, everyone was like, how long is Edison gonna last? Like, what's gonna happen? And I feel like this year, like, the format just kept evolving like every month. It was insane.
Yeah, no, it's definitely changed a lot. I was surprised myself, because I was also under the assumption, like, heading into Nats before RBT LA, I just thought the format was solved, and then LA happened, all the draw trap stuff happened, then Dreamfrog won the event, and then, Dreamfrog won again, and then Glad Beast won an event. I was like, what the hell is going on? Like,
yeah,
and then,
there was a spree of Amaryllis tops. Yep. Like, I was just like, what is happening? I don't know what's happening anymore.
Yep, and then Ultimate Time Wizard Lily happened. We had 7 different decks top, and then, like, another event we had 7 different decks top. We had the Virus Value deck come out. So just, it keeps on evolving, and, yeah, no, I'm excited for next year. I was planning originally to take the first half of next year easy, but thanks to you schmucks, I'm already going to be booking Orlando, and I guess I'm going to Vegas too. So thanks to my local Maple Bros.
Yeah, I keep saying this, but like no one knows how long this spree is going to last. So for like us boomers, this is like a golden age.
Right. No, I agree. Well, thanks again, man, and congrats to all of our 2024 champions. Excited to see who the 2025 champions will be, and hoping I could put myself in my own slideshow.
Yes, dude. I was so sad because you had 10th at Raleigh, or not Raleigh, sorry, Niagara, right?
Yeah.
So close. Yeah.
Is what it is, but
Yeah, it's okay, dude. You finally got your Chicago monthly win after topping like 6 times, so I'm sure next year it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Well, with that said, Metafo is signing out.